vote. So if there are 6 people sitting here and you do an opinion poll here, maybe 2 never went to poll. So in your sample, you're skewed by the fact that some people never showed up despite saying that they wanted to. So it's much safer to poll those who actually went and polled, because you know that they've actually cast their votes, they're real. Then you can do a stratified sample and see that these are real people who voted, not those who said they'd vote, maybe some of them didn't. So all that said and done, we've decided, and Pradeep, do you want to explain this? Is that a bit of a cop-out? या फिर आप उल्टा लेके आओगे? कुछ आपने just twist करना है. इसे चलो पहले बाकी बता दे, फिर मैं बताता हूँ.
Whatever you said is right, whether they are going to poll or not to go poll, but also the uncertainty. Whatever they say, and on polling day, if that change, then how you are going to capture that? Because they feel, whoever our people and we approach, their first doubt is you are sent by a political party. Because you know, lots of money getting distributed before the election.
So they want to check if the money they paid
yes.
You know,
so that is also worrisome factor.
Also, you know, it is a tight race. And when you have these tight races in a smaller state like Telangana, you need to take some time to process the data. You remember Haryana. Yeah. All the channels got Haryana wrong because they went on the it's a single day poll. You go in, you take your numbers, 530 people are still voting. And you've already gone and given your numbers. All the channels got Haryana badly wrong, except Pradeep to his credit at the time, because we did the poll a day later. It gives you time to process. And Rahul, let's be clear. Huge stakes in Telangana. As we've been discussing, I don't think I've seen an election where so much of attention is being paid on a state, because Telangana, particularly with these results, now becomes critical. For the Congress to have a good day in the office on the 3rd of December, Telangana is almost make or break. Yeah. Because if you win Telangana, then the Congress has some bragging rights and actually has a foothold completely in South India, and a regional party has been pushed on the back foot. On the other hand, if the Congress loses Telangana, then the Congress, with the sweep that the BJP is likely to get in Madhya Pradesh, will be desperate to ensure that Hung Assembly mein Gehlot Sahab or Baghel Sahab humko bachaye. So I think Telangana is a critical election to get right. People are watching us very closely on Telangana. And Pradeep wants to go and spend some time in Hyderabad.
And because for us...
Otherwise, usko biryani nahi milegi next time.
And for Rajdeep, everything is election on his plate. But for us, polling is not a gimmick. If this was just about getting eyeballs, we'd put Telangana out, because we do have initial estimates from there, but that would be very risky and premature. We'd much rather work harder to preserve, to the extent that we can try, our credibility, our reputation and our track record. So it's better to hold it back for a day. Even if to some of our viewers it seems like a bit of a cop-out, it isn't.
All the other exit polls are saying Congress is going to win, but Congress can't celebrate because Pradeep has not given his numbers.
हमेशा उल्टा ही बोलते हैं ना. तो अगर ये बोल रहे if the others are saying the Congress is going to win Telangana, everybody else is wondering why is Gupta held his numbers back? Is he going to say something?
8 out of 9 exit polls have given BJP Rajasthan.
8 out of 9.
Ours is the
He's an outlier, boss. He's an outlier. Now, I want to tell our viewers...
Sorry, can I make a... I think it's also important. When there is a wave election or one-sided election, then you can do election night forecasting. Yes. But when it is very, very close, it's always better to wait, because just last 2 or 3 hours of vote can tilt the balance. And second, sometimes what you need to do is look at the turnout patterns. And you only become clear about the turnout patterns in the evening once the election commission gives you the final number.
No, and sometimes men and women vote differently.
Exactly.
And unless you know what the final numbers are.
Exactly that.
Just speaking of data, Rajdeep, I want to tell our viewers that I earlier mentioned the fact that India Today had 10x, at 1.50x the viewership of our closest competitor in English. It has more viewership than all the other English news networks put together. I've just been sent by one of our top producers a data point that says that India Today is being watched more than any other Hindi channel as well. There's only one Hindi channel that's ahead of us, which is Aaj Tak, which is our sister concern, so we're very happy with that as well. So, number 1 is Aaj Tak and number 2 is India Today. Baki koi hai hi nahi boss race mein.
Dekho, Rahul,
this data we are fully confident about. Okay. This is the correct
data. This is YouTube data, right?
This is YouTube.
This is YouTube data, so it's actually more accurate than TRPs, which can be easily, you can have landing pages and buy TRP. That's another point. But I just want to come once again to Telangana, because I think we need to spend some time on what's going to happen there.
So can I go and explain? In Telangana, what I did is, we aren't showing our data today. And Gupta ji, remember, always say something different from what the others are saying. What he's saying, he's not telling us. it's not जेब में तो नहीं आपका तेलंगाना का कहीं बताओ लेके घूम रहे कि अगर मेरे को देना पड़ा. What I'll do is.
No, he has given the numbers to Owaisi and not to me.
You gave the numbers to Owaisi. क्या किया?
There is a rumor. First of all, this video that we did has gone viral. I want to tell our viewers, we just tried to pull the Mickey on all of you by doing a video before the exit polls where we pretended that we knew the numbers. It's gone viral. People are saying, how could you do it? Aapne nautanki kar di. But he has gone and given the Telangana numbers to Owaisi.
Owaisi is a very dear well-wisher of mine.
Acha, chalo.
So you
I
gave him
don't
the
know why.
numbers.
I don't know
Arey
why.
boss,
No,
check.
no.
We are signing. We are
Even
saying you've given Owaisi the numbers. क्या
Even
कर रहे हो
I do not have the number. How can I?
No, no,
Had
the truth-
I had the number, why
Truth,
should I
the
wait
truth
for
of the
tomorrow?
matter is one
Why
senior
I
leader
should
said
wait
from
for
Telangana,
tomorrow?
can you please tell us the numbers? I said, sorry, please watch the channel tomorrow,
No,
6
but
p.m.
so
onwards.
let's
Telugu
be clear.
channels were after
No, so
me.
it's
I
not-
said, boss.
No, but it's not as if we don't have the numbers. The numbers for Telangana are in, but those are initial estimates. See, when you're doing an exit poll, your pollsters, your surveyors are standing outside the polling booth speaking to people as they come. When you're speaking to people as they come out, you're not being able to do a scientific stratified sample. You're just speaking to random people. So you could be skewed. Your sample could be skewed because you could end up with more of the same kind of voters. You could end up with more upper caste voters or more Dalit voters or more Muslim voters because you're standing outside. And in polling booths, typically, there is a concentration of a similar kind of voter. Like if it's a Muslim area, you'll find much more Muslim voters and you simply don't have the time to ensure that you've actually done a scientific stratified sample, which means you've got in your survey sample roughly the same percentage of voters as there exists in society. So you want roughly the same percentage of Muslims, roughly the same percentage of Kapu, roughly the same percentage of Velma as there exists in the state of Telangana. And to do that, if polling starts at 7 and finishes at 5 and to finish it by 3, boss, anybody who's borrowing that tukka, hats off to you because that's very, very premature. So we just want to be safe, but we also want to show you what the others are saying. Gupta ji will tell us what he's saying tomorrow. In the meanwhile, let me show you some of the other polls. Not that I believe any of these polls, most of them I think are bogus, but for what it is worth, here it is. CNX, Jan Ki Baat, Matriz, Chanakya.
I think they've got it.
So CNX is saying 63 to 79. Remember, Telangana is a 119-seat assembly, so you need 60 to be in the majority. So CNX polls that Congress has got 60 plus. Then you've got Jan Ki Baat. Jan Ki Baat says 48 to 64 for Congress, 40 to 55 for BRS. So Jan Ki Baat thinks this could go either ways. Then you've got Matriz. Matriz is saying 58 to 68 for the Congress, 46 to 56 for the BRS. Chanakya is saying 71 for the Congress. Chanakya bhi thoda outlier hai, wo bhi lamba marta hai. 71 for the Congress, he says. BRS, he says 33.
What?
So you've got 4 polls saying Congress in the lead. But remember, Gupta ji always says the opposite of what the other polls, not always, but largely the opposite of what the other pollsters are saying. And the other pollsters this time are making the Congress win.
In Telangana, what is one more important thing, the political dynamics. There are 4 regions. Out of 4 regions in Hyderabad region, Congress has no presence. Literally no presence. Last time they won only 1 seat. So if you reduce 21 seats out of 119 seats, you left out with 98, 99 seats only. Then what do you do?
You know,
So that is
he's right. Therefore, if these numbers are right, Rahul,
and 6, 7 seats are fixed for the
Owaisi.
OVC.
No, that you've given.
And 5, 6 seats
1
for
minute. 24 seats in Hyderabad. Mr. Owaisi got 7. There was 1 to the Congress, 1 to the BJP, and the others all went to the BRS.
Right.
The real story is, if these numbers, Rahul, are true, is there's a tsunami in Telangana. Please appreciate. Last time the Congress was 29%, there was 4% of the TDP, came to 33%, and KCR was 46. You have, if these numbers are right, turned the election round.
It's a big one.
You've got a 10% lead. And Rahul, the significance of that, we've got to realize why Telangana is so important given Pradeep's numbers. Let's assume he's...
What are his
These are
numbers?
not Pradeep's
No,
numbers.
the other states. Let's assume the big picture. Rajasthan, he's giving Gehlot the edge. He's giving. Madhya Pradesh, clear win to the BJP.
Congress.
And a slight edge in Chhattisgarh to Baghel. If these numbers of the other channels on Telangana are right, or the other pollsters are right, what is clear is there's a tsunami in Telangana where there's been a shift from the BRS to the Congress. Then the Congress gets 3 states, or 2.5 possibly, because 1 is hung. They have bragging rights. On the other hand, if the BRS is able to turn around, if Pradeep comes tomorrow with his numbers to us and says, no, it's the BRS, which has 60, Congress has 40, everything changes.
Yeah.
Because then the Congress is clutching at straws ki kaun si hamari wo state hai jis par hum confident. So I think Telangana is vital. And I've always believed, Rahul, momentum is with Congress. Anyone who went to Telangana,
but there's track record.
But the maths is with BRS.
There's track record also. Pradeep always typically tends to give the opposite of what the other pollsters are saying. The other pollsters are thinking
उसका और चाणक्य का कुछ है. He and Chanakya often are in the same direction. आप लोग रात को मिलते हैं क्या?
No,
You and VK Bajaj,
Okay, so
my two friends.
Can I go across to some of the guests who are joining us at this time? Senior Congress leader Supriya Shrinet joins us. We're also joined on this broadcast by Gaurav Bhatia of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and we've got T.S. Sudhir who's joining us from Hyderabad, political analyst. So let me go across to Gaurav Bhatia first. In Madhya Pradesh, the BJP seems, according to the post-poll data, romping home in style, given the fact that for the large part of the campaign you were trailing. This would be quite magical for the BJP, for Amit Shah, who masterminded this campaign, and for Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the incumbent chief minister. Gaurav.
Yeah, Rahul, thank you so much. I would say that speaking on Madhya Pradesh, this is the kind of result that we are expecting. And the reason is very simple. I'll tell you why. It's actually an honor and a privilege to be serving the people of Madhya Pradesh for the last 19 years out of 20. And the connect that our leadership has, all the elections we know were fought under the leadership of Shri Narendra Modi ji, and the state leadership in unison was working hard to ensure that we connect with the voters of the states. In Madhya Pradesh, what are the factors that have ensured that Bharatiya Janata Party will win again? One, I think the popular schemes like Ladli Yojana. Ladli Yojana, I was myself camping in Madhya Pradesh, I can tell you, the women have a special bonding with Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji. And they feel that a lot has been done for Madhya Pradesh, turning the state from a Bimaru state to a Sucharu state. Second, I think there was no anti-incumbency there. Rather, on the other side, Congress could not provide an alternate. The reason is very simple. We saw how between Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh, there were bites like Kapde Phado Jaake Digvijay Singh ke. The issues were also not raised if they could have. Second, the Sankalp Patra also, if you see, a large section amongst the farmers felt that the promises that we had made, like purchasing paddy, at rupees 3,100, that inspired confidence. Now, the youth the women also.
Gaurav, you made your point. Gaurav, you made your point very strongly that the BJP got its Madhya Pradesh strategy right, and our exit poll seems to suggest that. However, the interesting part is that it's not just one state election. There's Chhattisgarh and there's Rajasthan. And in both these states, as per our exit poll, it's the... Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. We'll go state by state, sir. We'll give every party equal chance. In these two states, the Congress is ahead, Supriya Shrinet. So you seem to be suffering, if these numbers are right, a big defeat in Madhya Pradesh. And you could well be forming a government in Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh, but it's touch and go. Both these states could well be hung, or even the BJP lead in a Rajasthan. Therefore, the Congress could well end on Sunday evening, either with 3 states, if you win Telangana, or with 0 states. How worried are you? Are these numbers now going to give sleepless nights to the Congress? You're losing Madhya Pradesh badly. You're just ahead in Rajasthan. You're just ahead in Chhattisgarh. Telangana yet to come.
Thanks very much for having me on the show. And I'm reminded of June this year, earlier this year in June. And I remember the Karnataka numbers were coming, and yet again you guys had jumped the gun. And you told me how wrong I was to put on a euphoric song. And then, of course, I was later called up and both of you apologized. That's another story. That's another day.
1 minute. Our exit poll was right. There was 10:15. No. Our viewers must know the picture. At 10:15 on counting day, there was a brief period where the BJP and you appeared neck and neck. That's all. But I concede your point that at that point you could argue. But our exit poll on Karnataka was spot on. Please go ahead.
You may know the numbers while they were coming. We've done the polls, so we know exactly how we will fare, and which is why I was very confident even at 10:15 a.m. when you seem to have, gotten lost a little with the euphoria that was coming from the BJP. Forget about that. It's a day that belongs to us. I'm absolutely confident that the numbers for Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan that your exit polls are saying will be even better. Madhya Pradesh is a little surprising for me. And I do believe that the campaign was very good. I do believe that the numbers on the ground and the internal surveys that we have give us a very different story. Telangana is going to be a sweep election, whether you show that exit poll tomorrow, or whether you show it later tonight, or whether you show it 2 days later. Telangana is going to be a sweep. So the total tally for now is a tally that's favoring the Congress party, and for me that's the headline. You can keep dissecting the numbers, you can keep doing the internal math, you can do all of that. One thing that I would want to say here is that the BJP leaves no stone unturned to polarize any election. They tried to do that in Rajasthan, and look at how overwhelmingly people are going to vote against that. I think one thing is certain, it's a lesson for any of us to learn, that if you are going to work like we did in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, the people are going to reward you irrespective of what your opponent brings to the table, whether it's polarization, whether it's an ED raid, all of that will be set aside. But I think I'm extremely curious and extremely ecstatic about the fact that for now we look like we are in the lead position in Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan, and Telangana. My own internal survey tells me, and I respect your decision to show it tomorrow, is that we will be in a very, very formidable position, and the tides truly turned there.
And
BJP has a lot to worry.
No, ma'am. Just a quick response, though, from Gaurav Bhatia, because Gaurav, the fascinating thing about today's exit polls is you could have the bragging rights at this time on Sunday, or Supriya could have. Either it could be 3-1, 3-1 to the BJP, it could be 3-1 to the Congress. Are you also going to have a few sleepless nights, potentially about Rajasthan in particular? Because we've gone with a poll that shows you could be losing that state. That could be a blow even as you celebrate Madhya Pradesh.
So let me just dissect whatever has been said by the Congress spokesperson. First of all, no matter what happens on the 3rd, and we are sure we'll be winning in all the states, I would tell you one thing, we will never blame the EVMs. Tonight is a good night to ask the Congress spokesperson, if they happen to lose the states, and that too by a wide margin as exit polls are depicting, will they blame the EVMs again? Having said that, let's talk about Madhya Pradesh. I have the poll of polls in front of me, Rajdeep and Rahul, and out of the 4 exit polls that I see, all 4 of them talk about the BJP reaching the majority mark, and one of the exit poll is giving 162 seats on the higher side to the BJP. That is your exit poll. So what does it show? We have done phenomenally well
Sir,
in
Rajasthan.
Madhya Pradesh.
I asked you about Rajasthan.
Again,
You're going back to Madhya
There has
Pradesh.
been a tide in favor of Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm sorry?
I'm asking you, will Rajasthan and
Can you
Chhattisgarh
repeat
give you
yourself?
sleepless nights? If the Congress wins both and you only win Madhya Pradesh, and if the Congress then wins Telangana, it's 3-1 to the Congress.
So, Rajdeep, I would take you back to 2018. Do you remember the results of 2018? The Bharatiya Janata Party lost all 5 states. And today, what are the trends showing? We are doing better in Madhya Pradesh than the last results. We are doing better in Rajasthan. Even in Chhattisgarh, where we got 15 seats, your survey also shows 42. So who's the real winner? It is the leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party,
But
a
Mr.
collective
Bhatia,
effort by the cadre.
where Rajasthan is concerned, you have a natural edge.
Thing.
Sir, where Rajasthan is concerned, history gives
I
you a
please
natural
come in?
edge. You didn't do
Can I
as
complete
badly in
my point,
2018 that
please?
you've done now with
too
what
many
we predicted. It's
interruptions
practically the
disturb
same
my flow
figure.
as well.
But
Being a human
the question,
being.
Mr. Bhatia, is, one quick question. Did you not have a narrative in Rajasthan? It was your election to win, even on the historical context to it. From polarization to law and order, you really couldn't get it right in the final heat of the campaign.
Preeti, I think you are prejudging the result. Just wait for 3rd of December and I will, recite a couplet for the Bharatiya Janata Party. हम वो दरिया है जिसे अपना हुनर मालूम है. हम जिस तरफ चल देंगे रास्ते बन जाएंगे. Remember Uttarakhand? Uttarakhand as a hilly state also had the same trend. The Bharatiya Janata Party got a very resounding victory in the last assembly elections. We broke the trend. Why? People believe in the leadership of Shri Narendra Modi ji, Amit Shah ji, as well as the state leadership that we provide. Our national president was going state to campaign. Can I ask a question to the Congress? Is it not a relevant
so
question?
Ranjit Reddy of the BRS is with us. T.S. Sudhir is with us. I want to go across to Ranjit Reddy first. The India Today Access My India numbers are not out for Telangana yet, but the other pollsters that are out in Telangana are suggesting the Congress is winning. Can we have the poll of polls numbers again? All those data points suggest it's time, as that Revant Reddy song was saying, bye-bye KCR.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes. People can hear you.
Hello.
Yes,
please
Mr.
go
Reddy.
ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Rahul. I don't know, there was some connectivity issue. Yeah, there was some connectivity issue. I just got back into this thing. There are three things, Rahul and Rajdeep. What has happened is the dynamics changes from state to state. So we are going for the third time here, and I'm very pretty sure that we are going to come back to power. What I don't understand is when we talk about exit polls, when the polls were on, you came into the exit polls by 5:30 p.m. Maybe people were ready by 4:30 p.m. After 5:30 p.m., almost 12% voting was yet to be polled. So, and we talk about a difference of 1%, 1.5%, and you say bye-bye KCR, what Revant Reddy says. Well, how is that we can jump into conclusions is the first thing. Second thing is, as far as the elections are concerned, we are pretty sure, because for the welfare schemes and for the developments, what we have done in Telangana, it has reached every household. We are pretty confident that we are going to come back to power. What all has happened in Telangana state, I think it
what
has
are
become
you
a
picking
role
up?
model in that.
Pradeep Gupta holding his arsenal back. He says, I'll fire tomorrow on Telangana. You've been speaking to people across the state all day. What are you picking up?
Well, that's really the danger, because what Pradeep Gupta's exit poll for the other three states shows that the incumbent chief ministers or the incumbent governments are going to come back after this election. Now, what would that indicate for someone like KCR? Now, if you are talking about, as Rajdeep was mentioning, the success of the different welfare programs, in that case, the KCR government also has a lot to boast about in terms of the welfare program. So I think Pradeep Gupta has put a lot of people in tension. They will spend a sleepless night, because if his track record of going against the grain comes true tomorrow, that will be tested on the 3rd of December. But having said that, we did feel, as Rajdeep also said, that there is, the Congress did have momentum going into this election, but whether that momentum will end up being in around the 50 mark, the mid 50s, or will they cross the 60 mark comfortably? That's going to be the big thing. One another point that I picked up was today that the BJP may actually do better than expected. I mean, they won only one seat in 2018. This time, individual seats, I'm not talking of a pan Telangana or even a pan district kind of a momentum for the BJP, but because of specific individual candidates doing well, they may actually pick up quite a few seats, maybe even get into double digits. That's going to be something interesting to watch, because in the case of a hung assembly, the BJP's role could be critical. But yes, the Congress leaders who I have been speaking to, they say we will get a comfortable majority. There is really nothing to worry. The voting percentage, the large voting percentage that the EC has released is around 64%. Last time it was over 70%. So whether the final tally ends up over 70% or whether it falls short, even that could have a bearing on which way the results pan out.
You know, those numbers of others are critical in Telangana, because you've got Owaisi, who's already got an informal understanding with the BRS, and he's going to win 7. The only one that he might lose is Nampalli. So he's a short of 6 at least. And you've got the BJP. If Sudhir is right, and the BJP goes to 8, 10, then you're talking of a block of 16, which means...
Then it's a hung assembly.
A, it is likely then to be a hung assembly. B, KCR then becomes in pole position, because the BJP will want to keep the Congress out. Plus, KCR will be willing to break parties to form a government. You know, when you're a regional party, you're at war.
Let the polls be done, no? Why is that we want to talk about?
No, 1 minute, sir. I'm only going by what has been said by Sudhir. No, all the other channels, sir, have given it to Congress. Let's be very clear. All the polls so far have put the Congress ahead of the BRS.
But till the time Pradeep Gupta doesn't say it, no one's willing to believe it.
And therefore, Pradeep, because
you can
as
ask
Sudhir
Mr.
says,
Sudhir, there.
as Sudhir said, there is a trend which is there that all the governments at the moment with welfare schemes are holding their own. Now, we don't know whether Telangana is an outlier there, whether the corruption allegations against individual MLAs are so strong that they will offset the welfare schemes. KCR has an emotional connect with women, just like Mr. Gehlot and Shivraj had. So I am very cautious about Telangana. But Rahul, my sense is that Telangana, like these other states, is going to keep us awake till late. Possibly on Sunday. It's a fast counting state, I know. But even over the next 2 days. Who knows?
So Rajdeep's numbers are a hung assembly.
No, my numbers in Telangana are very simple. Momentum with the Congress, maths with KCR. It will still require a huge swing away for KCR to be completely demolished.
What's the difference in percentage, Rajdeep? Rajdeep, what's the difference in percentage?
Arithmetics kiske paas hai? That's what
Gupta ji, give us a hint.
All you guys have spoken on the line. There is one party called Owaisi Party, though we know that it is likely to be in alliance with BRS, right, which is holding back about 7 to 8 seats. If BJP start doing very good, when I say very good, at par with general election where they could gain 20% of vote share, which is too sizable a vote share, then difficulty for the Congress.
Yeah.
Because in Hyderabad region, there is no Congress. Let's be very clear. So keep first these 21 seats away of Hyderabad region, then 7 to 8 seats of Owaisi's stronghold. Of course, they are coming from Hyderabad only. They are coming from Hyderabad only. Then important is northern Telangana, where BJP is done absolutely good, winning 3 Lok Sabha seats out of 4, one from Secunderabad. So that is very important to see.
Ulta hi dene wale hain
No, I'll tell you why. Because you've got 28 seats in North Telangana.
Yeah.
BRS won 26 out of them. Then they got one again, one of the congressmen switched over. If the Congress cannot defeat the BRS in North Telangana, then I don't see the Congress going ahead of the BRS. It's as simple as that.
No way.
And the BJP has at least 3 or 4, but Sudhir is right. I don't think it's consistently across the state. There are 3 or 4 seats in Adilabad where the BJP is in the fight. I think the key is, when I have an anti-incumbency mood, does that anti-incumbency mood get split even 10-12% towards the BJP, or does it go wholesale towards the Congress? My sense is the Congress has got its caste arithmetic right, has got its candidate selection right. There, unlike in Madhya Pradesh, Sunil Kanogulu and Revant Reddy worked as a team, and they've got that part right. KCR made one mistake, Rahul. He should have dropped 25-30 MLAs. This election would be done and dusted.
Which is what
he got so overconfident, possibly by repeating these MLAs. These MLAs are going to be taught a lesson in Telangana. Mr. Ranjit Reddy may not agree. There was anger against individual MLAs who are seen to have been corrupted. Sir, जो स्कूटर पे चल रहा था, Mercedes Benz चलाता है. How did you get a Mercedes Benz in 5 years who was driving a scooter? Yeah. Your MLAs made lots of money. People, public है, ये सब जानती है. Telangana की public has learned that. That's why you have made a mistake. KCR is well loved, not the MLAs.
No, Rajdeep. No, let's not talk about Benz and all. What I say is, let's see on December 3rd, because what I say is, when we are talking about anti-incumbency and when we are talking about exit polls of 1.5-2% difference of votes, when the polling was not done, why is that we have to jump into conclusions? If there is anti-incumbency, the difference of votes should have been more than 10-15%, the way it is there in Madhya Pradesh.
Not really. No,
Madhya Pradesh, they have difference of 10-15%
because remember,
between Congress and BJP.
in Telangana,
not anti-incumbency, but the difference of voting percentage.
The BRS starts at 88 seats. The Congress starts at 19. That's the finishing point on the day of counting. Several Congress leaders switched over and joined the BRS. It's a different matter. Yeah. And the vote share gap between the two parties is a whopping 19%. It is a 19% vote share gap. To reverse that doesn't need a mini wave, it needs an electoral tsunami. So can the Congress get that kind of an electoral tsunami? Plus the trend that Pradeep Gupta always breaks away from the patterns. If everybody else is saying Congress is winning, Gupta ji going to come and bowl a
One
googly
more
again.
thing, Rajdeep, to add this, though people are saying 19% gap, let me tell you, last time Congress formed with TDP, they gained 4% vote. So it is actually 32% vote. Can that 32% vote surpass the BRS likely to get the vote? Last time they got scored 47.
No, so basically 46 has to come to 38 and 32 has to go to 40. I need an 8% swing.
This is one aspect. This is one. The another aspect is very important. We are forgetting here is the female.
And minus TDP.
Because large
go ahead.
number of females are the one who are beneficiaries or labhartis of whatever social welfare schemes of the government.
You're saying KCR has a chance?
No, I'm not saying anything.
No, you're saying
I'm saying all the dynamics.
Women voters, welfare, maths. That's why I keep saying KCR, don't rule out KCR
I'm saying that, Rajdeep.
Sir, I'm also saying that. I'm not denying it. All I'm saying, and Supriya Shine, that could be the nightmare for you. If tomorrow Pradeep Gupta comes, and of course on the 3rd, you lose Telangana for all this momentum you're whipping up about it, then it's going to be a terrible day at the office if all his numbers are right. You'll have lost Madhya Pradesh, you'll have come down in Chhattisgarh, you may not win Rajasthan, you may end up, that's the thriller of this exit poll. You could be either hero or zero.
See, Rajdeep, can I make a point?
You are not giving Mizoram number. That's my worry.
One minute, I want to come to Mizoram also. But let's Supriya speak.
The Congress is also there, no?
Yeah, Supriya, go on.
I think it's my turn to speak, right? You just addressed the state. आपने यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट के नाम एड्रेस दे दिया, आप मुझे बोलने भी तो दीजिए. Thank you. I just think this is an exit poll, and which is why this is not the final result. And Rajdeep, maybe your middle name can be the doomsday professor. I am certainly confident that we will be forming governments in 4, if not 3, for sure. And then we will see what happens. The reality is that don't treat exit polls with the pinch of salt that you're treating if the Congress is concerned. And for the others, you think things. Telangana is going to be a sweep election, and the BRS knows it even before we do. And that's the reality of Telangana. Anybody who has traveled through the state, anybody who understands a little bit of politics will tell you Telangana is going to see a tsunami as far as the Congress party is concerned.
Rahul, you've been waiting patiently. Let Rahul. Okay, Rahul,
I think, we'll figure out what Pradeep says tomorrow and the results. Sometimes there are momentums that get created on social media. Do not forget West Bengal elections, right? And so because it's Telangana is a much more sort of like literate state where people are much more on social media and those kind of things, you're going to see more momentum compared to any other state in terms of that. Second, even there is a division in the pollsters. Only 1 or 2 are giving outright sort of like edge to Congress. Most are keeping their cards close and saying it's a hung assembly. And it's likely to be very, very closely contested election because even if TRS loses a big chunk of vote, it's not going to go wholesale to the Congress party because in comparison to 2018, BJP is likely to touch either its 2019 mark or somewhere around it. So because there is going to be a split, it's not going to be easy for Congress to have an outright majority.
Let's come now to Mizoram. And remember, Mizoram is very important because typically it's been a battle between the Congress and the MNF. The MNF has currently been in power, so you typically expect that the Congress should this time win. That's how the state has oscillated since it was formed. So in Mizoram, I want to show you the vote share percentages first. And there's also the Zoram People's Movement, which really is a coming together of civil society groups. In some ways, you could call it, I don't know, people will be offended, like the AAP of Mizoram, where you've got a motley group of people coming together and putting up a contest. So here for the first time are the India Today Access My India vote share numbers for the state of Mizoram. The MNF India Today projects will be at 27% of the vote share. The ZPM, which really in the last elections only had 8 seats, they fought separately, weren't even together as a whole, will get a whopping 49%. That's like Afghanistan winning the World Cup, not just doing well, but actually winning the World Cup. The Congress at 20%, the BJP at 2%. They were really never in the race. It's largely a Christian state. 27 and 20. Even if the MNF and the Congress got together, they still have lesser votes than the ZPM. This is electorally a miracle. This is a bit like what happened in Tripura, where the BJP went from 2 and they formed the government by bringing the mighty CPIM down. This is quite magical in the state of Mizoram. Let's now translate this into seats. If you look at the 40-seat assembly of Mizoram, Access My India is projecting for the India Today group that the ZPM will get 28 to 35, the MNF from 3 to 7. This, Pradeep Gupta, is actually the biggest surprise. You're projecting that Afghanistan is winning the World Cup.
Yeah, it is going to be the same like what happened in Delhi, Pradesh, when in 2013 election, Aam Aadmi Party could secure 27 seats, surprising everybody. Last time in Mizoram, they could not form the party, the ZPM. So all the candidates fought independent and they won 8 seats, and the Lal Dohama is led the ZPM movement. He is the ex-MP of Congress party in 1984.
That's right. He comes from the the older generation. This
40%
IPS
of the
officer,
respondents say they want
same
him to
again
be
like
CM.
Arvind Kejriwal situation, IRS, and he was the IPS officer, and he fought election last time with 2 seats and won both the seats. And this time, can you imagine, he is likely to secure 49% vote with as high as 35 seats out of 40 seats. So it's like sweeping the entire Mizoram.
The reason for this, a couple of things which are interesting here. One is the last time they could not get an election symbol.
Yes.
Because they did not get their recognition in time. So they had to contest as individuals. Now they've come together. Many of them are ex-congressmen. And I think, yes, the AAP analogy is well taken. This is the 2015 moment of Mizoram. And most of the people who've gone with the ZPM are youth. You see, the church plays a big role in a state with 85% Christian population. But the youth want a change. They want to see, not as if the leader is young. He's 74 years old. He's not, in that sense, he's different to Arvind Kejriwal. Yeah. He's not in his 40s. He's a 74-year-old. But he's saying, enough of these, of the Congress and the MNF. Yeah. Let's try something new.
But Rajdeep, what does it say about the Congress? Because you've had a Rahul Gandhi who spent a considerable amount of time in Manipur. They would have hoped what happened in Manipur would have reflected in the neighboring Mizoram. And here, you have the Congress absolutely nowhere. So if Supresh Srinath is still with us, it's a question for the Congress to take.
Excellent point. Because in the Northeast, we've seen, not just in Mizoram, Preeti, in state after state, the Congress used to once dominate the Northeast. If these numbers are right, you're completely barren in the Northeast. Not a single state of the Northeast is going with the Congress, and it's ZPM, a party in a way created out of the womb of the Congress, that people are turning to, and not the Congress party, Supriya Srinath, in a state bordering Manipur.
No, so I have got your question very partly. There is a problem in the audio, but I get your question on Mizoram and the Congress party's position there. I think what I will say before I come back to the Congress party's position there is, I am very glad to see that Mizoram has actually taught the BJP a lesson. Because the Mizoram Chief Minister said Mr. Modi should not come there. There's palpable anger. He did not go to Manipur. That anger has metastasized into Mizoram. So I do believe the numbers will be a little better than what they are suggesting here. But it's a resounding vote against...
That lesson has come at your cost. Because the Congress made Manipur an issue. You had Rahul Gandhi who was in Manipur.
You can come to me after I'm done. I think it's an extremely important, extremely emotive point. The fact that the Prime Minister chose not to go to Manipur is going to cost him dearly, not just here, but you wait and watch in the rest of this country. I think.
But what has the Congress gained out of it, Ms. Srinath? Because your leader went to Manipur.
I'm not entirely...
It's very ironical that you're saying the BJP, it's a largely Christian state, the BJP hardly even contested. Amit Shah and the others didn't even go there. The Congress, which should really have benefited from the anti-incumbency, has ceded ground to the ZPM. Kaushik Deka joins us, heads India Today Northeast for the India Today Network. Kaushik, the emergence of the phenomena of the ZPM didn't even contest as a proper party in the last election to now sweeping the post-poll study. Explain that to us.
See, JPM, though it was not a party in this form, JPM head Ladan Hoa, he has been there for quite some time. I see it actually as an AAP phenomenon over there. Only that in AAP's case, in Delhi, the turnaround happened in just 3-4 years, but this party took a lot of time. It was usually seen as an urban party. And Mizoram, if you see, it's a rural state mainly. But because of internet, what has happened, all the things that he used to preach earlier, now those things are getting into the rural areas. So people are reacting to that. What AAP could achieve in Delhi in quick time, this party took time, but now it has succeeded and people are responding to the new form of politics. They have seen Congress, they gave a chance to the regional party also. Now they are trying to someone who is talking about corruption, who is talking about unemployment, who is talking about drug issues in a constructive way. So I think that what earlier was seen as an urban phenomenon, now it has gone down to the rural areas.
Pradeep Gupta, is a state like Mizoram tougher to poll than say a Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan?
Very tough. In all northeastern states,
No, but
Mizoram relatively easy.
Rajdeep, I'll tell you one second.
No.
Just think of it not in terms of the state, but in terms of statistics. You are trying to capture the vote share of a new political formation.
That is one.
If it is an MNF versus Congress fight, it's relatively easier.
And secondly,
here you are trying to poll a new
it's like
political
an
formation.
average 20,000 voters in each constituency.
So how do you get the right numbers?
And that to 3 party.
Fair enough.
And that
Rahul,
to incumbent party.
Yes, Rahul.
Like
think,
MNF.
In some ways, JPM may look like AAP phenomena, but JPM is also very, very different because the constituent parties of JPM are old political parties of Mizoram. So basically JNP, Zoram Nationalist Party, is an old party. Mizo People's Conference is an old party. Mizo People's Congress is an old party. So what has happened that these 6 parties tried to come together last time, and they got 8 seats, but they had combined 28% vote share. So it's not like, so they're like, of course, it's a big jump from 28 to 49, but it's not that they had no base in the state.
No,
Right?
I
Same like Aam Aadmi Party in 13.
No, sure.
And they
This
won
is
in
2018 was
15.
their 2013 moment of the Aam Aadmi Party. This is their 2015 moment. But,
absolutely.
I'm just wondering, Chetan, do you believe, and you talk to a lot of young people, in general, do young people want the idea of new parties? We're looking at all these big states where we've got the same old parties running these states. Then you turn to Mizoram, and suddenly you've got a new party coming up. Do you think there is space in Indian politics for new ideas with new parties?
I think if